Sivaya Nama Thiruchitrambalam. Welcome back to our discussion on the 9th Thirumurai. We have already completed the first 10 Thirupadikams and today we are going to start with the 11th Thirupadikam. We are going to start from the very first verse now. This Padikam is written by Karuvoor Thevar and it is written to the temple or the place called as Thirumugathalai. Let's look at the first verse now. Thiruchitrambalam. Bhuvana Nayaganey agavuyir kamude Puranaranam poliyum Pavalavai maniye pani seivar kirangum Pasupadi pannagaparana Avani ஞாயிறு போன்றாருள் புரிந்தடியேன் ஆகத்திலும் முகத்தலை மோதூர் தாவளமாமணி பூங்கோயிலும் அமர்ந்தாய் தனியனின் தனிமை நீங்குதற்கே. Today's verse is a lovely verse because we often get into a situation or we get into a little bit of a confused state, as in, don't I have anyone for me to care about me or to take care of me or even to show me love and care? To be honest, this soul has to realize there is no one of that sort who is going to be there as a companion other than Lord Shiva. We could name a lot of relationships, right from our parents to our siblings to our spouse to our kids, friends, whatever it is, whoever it is, but they are not going to be the companion for the soul until the last. Why we say that is, for this body, they are our relatives. After we leave this body, we don't know what kind of a birth we are going to take. And we don't know which other soul is going to accompany us in the next births. Which means the soul is always alone in solitary. The moment we realize that we are a solitary state, one thing which we have to understand is and start searching is who is our real companion. Obviously, it is none other than Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the companion for the soul. Once we start realizing it, we should also understand how are we going to attain our companion? How are we going to reach his feet? That is what the beautiful statement here says. Pani seivarku irangum pasupadi, which means when someone is totally dedicated to the service of Lord Shiva, they will be taken care. They are taken care and they will be taken care by Lord Shiva. That is why he is called as Pasupati. It's a noun. Pasupati means it's basically to say that even though it's a name, it was given because of there's a reason behind this name. Pasu means soul, Padi means the leader. Who is the leader of this soul? Obviously Lord Shiva. And what kind of a soul is going to be led by Lord Shiva? Those of us who have surrendered ourselves and we are in the service of Lord Shiva. Those of us who are in the service of Lord Shiva, only those kind of souls are going to be taken care of and made sure that we are not going to be let alone in this world. That is what the very first verse talks about. And Lord Shiva, who is there to take care of the souls, he is there in the place called as Thirumugathalai. That is what the first verse is all about. Sivaya Nama Thiruchitrambalam. And we are continuing with the second verse. The verse goes this way. Thiruchitrambalam. புழுங்கு தீவினையேன் வினை கெட புகுந்து புணர் பொருள் உணர்வு நூல்வாகையால் வழங்கு தென் பொழியும் பாவளவாய் மூக்கண் வளரொளி மணி நெடுங்குன்றே முழங்கு தீம்புனல் பாய்ந்திளவராலுகளும் முகத்தலையாக தமர்ந்தடியேன் விழுங்கு திங்கனியாய் இனிய ஆனந்த வெள்ளமாய் உள்ளமாயினையே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். The second verse talks about a very beautiful situation or a state that every life has to go through. In Saiva Siddhantam, we usually say every soul, in order to achieve realization, we have to go through 4 paths. It's called as Sariye Kiriye Yogam Jnanam. And in that, they usually use an analogy to understand this or to make us understand this. First, whenever we talk about a plant or a tree, especially if it is going to give us some fruits, bearing a fruit bearing tree, there will be a flower, and from the flower we will see the very small little fruit coming out, and then it will be in a solid state, as in it's not a ripened state, it is an unripened fruit, and finally it will become a ripe fruit that is ready for consumption. The moment we see the state of a flower, that is called as Sariye. And when the flower is transforming itself into the fruit, the initial state of the fruit, which is not ripe, it's not even in a full blown or a full grown fruit state, that is equivalent to Kiriye. Then the unripened fruit is taken as Yogam. Completely ripe fruit ready for consumption is Jnanam. Whenever we see fruit as a representation in our Thirumurai, it will always represent the Jnana state. That is what in today's verse he talks about as well. Our author, the saint, says, the fruit that I'm eating is Lord Shiva. In Yogam state, obviously the person who is already in the yoga state, he is going to start relishing the taste, relishing the happiness and the blissful state of Lord Shiva. So Karuvoor Thevar is already in that state. According to this particular verse, it is very clear that he is already in the state of yoga. Not only that, he starts with a beautiful statement. He says, I have so much of a karmic effect, karmic deeds that I have accumulated over the past births and years, and those are burning me literally. I'm suffocated with those karmic deeds. I'm suffocating with all those effects of the karma. Now Lord Shiva has to come down and bestow his grace on us and get rid of these karmas for us. So what does he do? He gives us the text through which we can achieve realization. The text is very important. It's a form of diksha. When we get the text, we should start reciting it continuously so that our the main reason, the main problem that we are going through is because of karmic deeds. And when we start reading these books, these texts, the holy text, all our karmas will be burnt out. Now, can we go and read any text? Obviously no. The text will be given to us by Lord Shiva himself. Imagine, did we ever think that we will be going through the 9th Thirumurai text? Even last year, if someone would have told us that we will go through a 1-year project on 9th Thirumurai, we would have laughed at them and laughed at ourselves. But Lord Shiva has decided that our karma has to be, we have to get rid of our karma through some texts from the 9th Thirumurai. That is why he has given this text in our hands, in our thoughts, in our mouth for this one whole year. Because of his decision, we are going through this project. So, similar to that, whenever Lord Shiva is giving us a holy text, it means our karma is, it has already started to diminish, or he has started the process of eliminating our karma. That is what verse number 2 is all about. Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. And the third verse, the verse goes this way, Tiruchitrambalam. Kalnaga ulla kalvanin nin kan kasivilin kannil neer soriyen munnaga voliyen ayinum sellu neer mugathalai tamandurayum pannaga parana pavalavai maniye பாவியேன் ஆவியுள் புகுந்தது என்ன காரணம் நீ ஏழை நாயடியேற்கு எளிமையோ பெருமையாவதுவே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse is really a lovely verse. In fact, we all know communication is 2 ways. It can never be one way unless we are insane, talking to our own self. Whenever we talk about communication, it always happens between 2 people. We go to a temple, we start communicating to Lord Shiva in the form of mantras or Thirumurai or whichever is easier for us, we follow that. If we are not comfortable with anything, we just start chanting Shivaya Nama. When we are sitting in front of Lord Shiva and we are chanting mantra, that starts our communication with him. Now, we need to give some time and space for him to communicate back to us. That is what meditation is all about. Let's do a self-analysis now, self-evaluation rather. How many of us are letting this happen, letting Lord Shiva to communicate with us, sitting quietly even for 2-3 minutes for a meditation? Not really. That is the reason our heart is still so solid in nature. It has solidified so much that when we are hearing Thirumurai, when we are singing Thirumurai, or when we are hearing about his gracious acts and all these, we are not crying. Of course we cry. We cry because of, all the sorrows that we have and the troubles we are going through. That's not what we are talking about here. The moment we are hearing Lord Shiva's name, tears must flow through our eyes because of gratitude, not because of sorrow. When we start this kind of when we have this gratitude, that is where it tells us that our heart has already started melting. Right? Now, if we don't do this, what will happen? That's what the very first phrase in this particular verse talks about. He says, a stone is looking at my heart and it is laughing at me. It's laughing at me, saying that, wow, you are even more stronger than me. You are even more solid than me. Which means, imagine, we all know what is the strength of a stone. We know what kind of an hardness a crystal is going to be. That crystal is laughing at us, saying that we are even more harder than a stone. Can we imagine this is our state? Now, what should we do for this? Nothing we can do. All we have to do is just sit for meditation. After our mantra chanting, sit for meditation. Sit in front of Lord Shiva. He will be the one making sure that our heart is ready to melt. But one thing we have to do is listen to him in the form of meditation. Even though I'm not ready, even though I'm not, my heart is still hard or whatever, you know what is the grace and love of Lord Shiva? He is still showing his mercy on us. He is still bestowing his love on us. He is still able to give us everything that we need. And that is possible because of his simplicity. It is not because of me. It is not because of us what we have done. We have never done anything. But because of his grace on us, his love for us, and his simplicity, he is showing his love and affection on us. That is why even today we are having the best life possible. The life that we are leading compared to so many others, this is a blessed life. Who gives this? Lord Shiva. Why is he giving this? It's not because of any kind of a qualification that I have, but it is because of his grace on me. That is what verse number 3 is all about. Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. And the fourth verse. The verse goes this way. Tiruchitrambalam. கேடிலமைநூல் கெழுமியும் செழுநீர் கிடையனருடைய என் நெஞ்சில் பாடிலா மணியே மணியுமிழ்ந்தொளிரும் பரமணி பன்னகாபரணா மேடெலாம் சென்னல் பசுங்கதிர் விளைந்து மிகத்திகள் முகத்தலை மூதூர் நீடினயெனினும் உள் புகுந்தடியேன் நெஞ்செலாம் நிறைந்து நின்றாயே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse is something that we should all be able to relate with, and we should realize it, not just reading alone but realize it. In this particular temple called as Thirumugathalai, there is the deity's name is beautiful name. It's called as Pannagabharanar. Literal meaning of that is someone who is wearing a lot of jewelry, and the jewelries are nothing but snakes. Imagine someone wearing snakes as a jewelry is called as Pannagabarana, Pala Naga Abarana. That is how it is taken. And in this temple there is a beautiful tree, we call it as Thalavriksam. The tree is in the form of a snake, and especially when you talk about the snake, the cobra, and if you look at the full blown the dancing cobra, right, so it literally looks as if it's a cobra itself. And they said that there was a snake living in it, but now they don't have it anyways. But if you look at it, it literally looks like a cobra, the tree itself. And the name of the deity is Pannagabarana. And in this verse, Karuvoor Thevar says, Lord Shiva, who is wearing all the snakes, is residing in the place called as Mugathalai, outside, and inside he is within my heart. You know how he is there in my heart? He is there as a permanent, he is there permanently in my heart, in my soul. In fact, we all have him permanently within us. The only problem is we have not yet realized it. Today, if you ask me, I would talk about it, or everything I can talk about, like, you know, Lord Shiva is there with me, everything. But did I really realize it? It has to be answered only by Lord Shiva. Did I really realize that he is there within me? If I realized it, I wouldn't cry, I wouldn't get angry, I would not even have any kind of an emotions. The reason is, I know the Shiva within me will handle it. The moment I cry, the moment I'm getting angry, the moment I get depressed, it means the frustration, whatever negative feeling, and even happiness, all those feelings resonate that we have not realized that Lord Shiva is residing within us. Whatever book we have we are reading, whatever kind of the text and holy text, and even when we are singing all these Thirupadikams and we are chanting all the mantras, it doesn't matter, because we have not realized it. We have not realized that he is within us. There is a kind of a ginger plant. We call it as neti. This particular plant, if you observe it, it stays and it grows in water, in a lake, but it will never absorb water. It never absorbs water, but it grows in a lake itself. So what we are trying to do is, we are within all the holy text and within all the, the Vedas and chantings and everything, but we have not realized that Lord Shiva is within us, similar to this plant called as neti. But Karuvoor Thevar says that once we start realizing it, then we will know that the deity who is outside is also the same within our heart. That is what verse number 4 is all about. Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. The 5th verse. The verse goes this way. Tiruchitrambalam. Akkananaye selvame sindithu aivarodennodum velaindha ikkalam muzhudum ஒழிய வந்துள் பூக்கு என்னையாளாண்ட நாயகனே முக்கண்ணாயகனே முழுதுலகிறைஞ்ச முகத்தலையாக தாமந்தாடியேன் பக்கலானந்தம் இடையற வண்ணம் பண்ணினாய் பாவளவாய் மொழிந்தே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். 5th verse is a beautiful verse that we have to reflect on. In this verse he says, we all call it as a rat race. We are part of the rat race as of today. And where is this rat running towards? We are running towards something that is totally not permanent in this world. Number 1, money. Is this permanent? No. How about our young life? No. The youth, that's also not going to be permanent. Dream. It's also something like a dream. We know that what we are trying to run behind is all going to be destroyed after a while. That is not permanent. And we all know the real permanent happiness is achieving Lord Shiva's lotus feet. But are we in the process of doing that? That's a big question mark. Every year during our birthday, we celebrate our birthday by cutting cake. Is it something to be celebrated? Let's do an analysis. Is it something to be celebrated? What does it mark when we are celebrating a birthday? What does it mean by a birthday? It means that we have lost 1 year, one precious year, a full 365 days. What is that we are losing? We are losing in the path of reaching Lord Shiva. Will any fool celebrate a failure? We will all celebrate a success, but will any fool celebrate a failure? But we are doing it. Every year we are doing it. Every birthday we are celebrating in such a big manner. But let's do an analysis. Is it a success or a failure? When can it be called as a success is only when we know that we have proceeded or we are successfully moving towards Lord Shiva in the spiritual path. But if we are still in these worldly things, we are still in this suffering, and we yet try to celebrate our birthday, we are celebrating only our failure in the path towards success. We have lost the 365 days and we are celebrating the 365 days of loss, not gain. What Karuvoor Thevar says here is, he has realized the sufferings are coming only because of the desires and only because of the 5 sense organs that is trying to control us. He has already realized it, and who made him realize it? It is only Lord Shiva who can do that. No one else in this world, no one else on this planet could do it. Only Lord Shiva can give us this kind of a knowledge to say, okay, enough is enough. Now your path has to change. Divert your path. That is what Karuvoor Thevar says here. Lord Shiva himself came down and he gave me the real mantra, the mantra that I can move towards the next level. Move towards the next level, which gives me real happiness, permanent happiness that permeates within me, across this entire world. And that is the mantra that is given to me by Lord Shiva himself. That is what 5th verse is all about. Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. And the 6th verse. The verse goes this way, Tiruchitrambalam. Punal pada urugi mandadal vedumbi பூம்புனல் பொதிந்து ஈரளிக்கும் வினைபாடு நிறைபோல் நிறைந்த வேதகத்தின் மனம் நெகமகிழ்ந்த பேரொளியே முனைபாடு மதில் மூன்றெரித்த நாயகனே முகத்தாலையாக தமந்தாடியேன் வினைபாடும் மூடல் நீ புகுந்து நின்றாமையால் விழுமிய விமானமாயினதே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse is a very practical verse to tell us or elevate us to the next level in spirituality. The example that is given here is a clay. Let's imagine we have clay. When we pour water on the clay will absorb the water and it will become so liquid, or the water will start flowing out. But the same clay, if we are able to process it in the right heat and the right temperature and in the right whatever, the right approach and whatever, what happens to this clay is it will become a pot. As of today, pottery is becoming one of the most important hobbies in the world. It's also taken as one of the most important stress reliever. Now, if you look at the way how pot is being made, the clay is taken and the clay is, we burn the clay in a particular temperature so that it can solidify, and the same clay which could not hold on to the water earlier, right now it has become a pot and we can store water in it. Similar to this analogy, if you look at the body that is given to us, is because of our karmic deeds. Why do I have my hands this way? Why do I have my legs this way? Why do I have my nose this way? It's all because of karma. So the karmic deeds are the one which determines what kind of a body is going to be given to us, and based on that particular karma, we have taken this body. Now, this body is made of the 5 elements: water, fire, sand, which is silica, carbon. We know skin is made of carbon. All the 5 elements that is part of our body. Can we make this a temple? Is it possible for us to transform this body into a temple? Yes, it is possible. Let's look at any temple as of today. When we talk about a temple, it is being constructed and we make Shivlinga. The Shivlinga is made of a stone. And what is the composition of this? Obviously the 5 elements. 5 elements are there when you talk about a Shivlinga. When they are making the Shivlinga, it's only a stone. But when we bring this Shivlinga, place it in the right sanctum, and we do all the prana pradishta and all these, the right rituals in such a way that we are giving life to the, through mantras, the life source is getting into this particular Shivlinga. After that, we don't call it a stone anymore, rather we call it as a deity. So from a stone to deity, is it possible? Has it been practically done? Yes, and we are able to see that. When we are able to see a stone transforming into a deity, why can't we transform the same 5 elements made of, the body made of 5 elements? Why are we not able to transform into a place where Lord Shiva can reside? Obviously we can do. All we have to do is start giving life. When we say start giving life, that's possible only with mantra. Even as simple as taking our bath. When we are bathing, try to just, in the water that is in front of us, try to just do all the mudras and chant your mantras. Make sure the water is energized. Take bath in that. When we are going to drink water or when we are going to eat food, try to do all the mantras and mudras and all these so that it becomes a prasadam. And after that, the food that we are consuming is going to make our body transform into a place which we call it as temple where Lord Shiva can reside. And Karuvoor Thevar says that he has already done this transformation. It comes as his own words. That is what verse number 6 is all about. Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. And the 7th verse. The verse goes this way, Tiruchitrambalam. விரியும் நீரால கருமையின் சாந்தின் வெண்மையும் செந்நிறத்தோழியும் கரியும் நீராடும் கனலும் ஒத்தொளிரும் கழுத்தில் ஓர் தனி வடம் கட்டி முறியுமாறெல்லாம் முறிந்தழகியாய் முகத்தலையாக தமந்தாயை பிரியுமாறுளதே பேய்களும் செய்த புழை பொறுத்தாண்ட பெருளியே. Today's verse talks about if it's like an answer for a question. If someone is coming to us and asking, okay, tell me about your Shiva Perumal, we can actually talk about this verse alone as an answer for that question. So how is Shiva Perumal looking like? He is in the form of a beautiful red in color. We all know Shiva is, we can't say he's blue in color, yeah, blue or black in color is not Shiva, it is Rudra. We don't talk about Rudra here. Saiva Siddhantam talks only about Shiva. Rudra is only at the 3rd level. Beyond the 5th level is what Shiva Peruman is all about. So Shiva is in the golden color, or rather the morning time. When we talk about the early morning sun rays, we will see a reddish tint color, right, this on the sky. That is the color that we talk about for Lord Shiva. He is so beautiful reddish color, but he is wearing the holy ashes on him. Not only that, he has the poison on his throat. We call it as Neelakantam. He is having Neelakantam. He is wearing the holy ashes, which means somewhat we can imagine like a grayish white color on top of this red color. If you can imagine this, we all know when we talk about fire, when we want to make fire, usually after the wood is all burnt out or the coal is all burnt out, we will know that the heat is still within there, the fire is still within there, but there is a layer outside. If we touch it, we will be burning our fingers. If you can imagine that, that's exactly how Lord Shiva is going to look like. Inside, within he is really burning hot. Outside, he has all the ashes on top of it. It's exactly the same as our body. If you look at it, where is Lord Shiva? He is within us. Within us, as the fire within us, as the life, the soul within us is Lord Shiva. But it is being covered outside with this body. The body that is given to us is made of ashes, which is nothing but silica. When you burn it, it becomes ashes. And the black in color is nothing but our ignorance, the Anava Malam that we are talking about. So, within us is Lord Shiva, but outside the body is the one which is covering it up. What we have to do is start removing those ashes on the outside, or the superficial one, so that we will be able to see the fire within. And is it really a burning fire? No, it is a hot coal. All we have to do is blow in such a way that it can fire up. Now, through what we are going to burn, through what we are going to blow it up? Very simple. Thirumurai is the only source for us to bring the heat out, to bring the fire out. Once we bring that out, we start reading Padigams, and we let all the attachments and entanglements with this body, everything is going to be removed from us, and we will only be stuck with the inner fire, which is Lord Shiva. Now imagine this situation when Lord Shiva is showing himself to us, as in from within he is showing himself to us. That is the stage where the inner karmic deeds are going to be burnt out. That is what he says, Purai poruthu aanda, which means all the mistakes, all the karmas that we have done is all going to be removed from us, and within us he is going to glow in such a way like he is going to be permeating throughout us. This is what verse number 7 is all about. All we have to do is start reading Tirupadigams. Now again, the next question we may have is, what Tirupadigam should I read? Because there are 12 Thirumurais and there are so many Tirupadigams. Which one should I read? Not to worry, because all these are going to be given only by Lord Shiva. He is the only decision maker in our life. So what we have to do is surrender ourselves. Did we plan for 9th Thirumurai now? No. It is he who has given us the 9th Thirumurai, and he said 1 year. Who decided 1 year? It is him. So if you look at it, everything is decided by him. All we have to do is just surrender ourselves to him and say, Lord Shiva, I want to read Tirupadigam. I want to make sure that within me you are there, but I want to listen to you. I want to feel you. I want to enjoy the bliss that you're going to give. Once we surrender ourselves, he will show us the Padigam that we have to read. Start reading that, and automatically we will see all the ashes moving away, and the inner glow is going to be permeating throughout as well. That is what verse number 7 is all about. Sivaya Nama, Tiruchitrambalam, and the 8th verse. The verse goes this way, Tiruchitrambalam. என்னையுன் பாத பங்கயம் பணிவித்து என் வேலா முருகனி எழி வந்து உன்னையன் பால் வைத்து எங்கும் எஞ்ஞான்றும் ஒழிவர நிறைந்த ஒன் சுடரே முன்னையன் பாசம் முழுவதும் அகல முகத்தலையாக தமர்ந்தெனக்கே கண்ணலும் பாலும் தேனும் மரமுதமும் கனியுமாயினியை ஆயினையே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse cannot be thought about as an individual phrase or a verse. It must be linked with the 7th verse. Basically, in verse 7, what we spoke about was Lord Shiva is there as a cinder, like a fire, but not in the full form of a fire, but just as a cinder. And what we have to do is, using Tirupadigams, we have to blow the fire in within us. What will happen when this glows, right? When the fire comes up, what will happen? That is what verse number 8 is all about. Lord Shiva comes out once he is ready, as in once we are ready, he is going to take us as his disciple, as his devotee. Being his devotee is not something that we are doing, or something it doesn't come with our own effort. It all comes in only by Lord Shiva's grace. He is the one who can make us surrender to him. He is the one who can take us as his devotee as well. So once the fire within us, as in Lord Shiva within us, is visible, we are able to realize that and relate with that. That is where he will start glowing within us. Once this starts happening, our bones also will start to melt. It's not so easily, it's not going to be happening so easily. It's not going to happen overnight, but it happens only with His grace. In the earlier one of the verse we already said, the stone is looking at, our rock is looking at our heart, and it is making fun of us, and it is laughing at us, saying that I'm even more softer than your heart. Now that kind of a heart has become more flexible, and it is filled with love towards Lord Shiva. So our bones also had started to melt. That is what verse number 8 talks about. And when our bone starts melting, as in not literally, but when we talk about emotionally, when we start that kind of a surrender, we can achieve Lord Shiva's feet. And once we do that, the Arnavam, Kanmam and Maya, the three entanglements that is there for a soul, is going to be burnt out. Once that is burnt, it's much easier for us to start realizing the blissful state. And he tries to explain the blissful state. He says, it looks like a sugar cane juice, it looks like a fruit, it looks like a milk, it looks like honey. Then end of the day, he's exhausted with all these examples, and he says, okay, whatever is called as sweetness, you are there. Lord Shiva is sweet, sweet that we cannot express in words. More than whatever we can think and relate. That is what blissful state is all about, and that's what is explained in verse number 8, which means all we have to do is start relating with Lord Shiva, who is not anywhere else but he is within us. You don't need to search him outside. All we have to do is just relate with him. He is within us. Once he starts glowing within us, we will be able to achieve the blissful state that we are all thinking or imagining about. Sivaya Nama, Tiruchitrambalam. And the 9th verse. The verse goes this way, Tiruchitrambalam. Ambaranala anilame puvini ambuve induve iravi umbaral ondrum arivonanuvai olivara nirainda on sudare moimbarai nalam sol moodarivalar mugathalaiyaga tamandenake எம்பிரனாகி ஆண்டனி மீண்டே எந்தையும் தாயுமாயினையே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse gives us an idea about how Lord Shiva helps us in elevating us in the spiritual path and making us realize as in path of realization. So how is he helping us? The first thing the verse goes as he says, Lord Shiva is coming in as our parent, our father, mother. We do have a parent, we do have a mom and a dad who is there to guide us in this world, the one who gave us this body and the one who made us grow hale and healthy until this particular state. What is their main responsibility? The worldly parents' responsibility is to make sure that we achieve, or at least we know, there is a permanent mom and a dad who is Shiva. The permanent mom and dad is the one that we need to grip on to forever. This clarity is going to be taught to us by our worldly parents. Now, so Lord Shiva comes in as our parent. What else does he do? He is in the place called as Mugathalai. He is part of all the 5 elements that we are able to see around us as of today. He is part of Gaia, he is part of fire, he is part of water, he is part of air, he is part of the space. Not only that, he is also part of sun, moon. Rather, he is the sun, he is the moon. And he is also in the form of the soul, as in we. Basically, he is there as part of all the living beings as well as the non-living beings. When it comes to operational aspects of the non-living beings, that is done by Lord Shiva. When you talk about a sun or a moon, it raises in a particular direction and it goes across in a particular speed and it sets in a particular direction. Who does that? We all know it's a non-living thing. Non-living thing cannot go on its own. So there must be someone who is operating it. That is Lord Shiva. How about us? Soul. We also are operated by Lord Shiva, but according to our karmic deeds. Lord Shiva is the one who is feeding us with the right karma in such a way that we can get rid of this karmic deeds and achieve realization. So Lord Shiva is in the form of, that's what they call it as Etturu, Attamurtha Vadivam. Attamurtha means 8 forms, the five elements that we are able to see: sun, moon and soul. So these are the 8 that is Lord Shiva is part of in order to make us realize him. That is what verse number 9 is all about. Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. And the 10th verse, the verse goes this way: Tiruchitrambalam. மூலமாய் முடிவாய் முடிவில முதலாய் முகத்தலையாக மந்தினிய பாலுமாய் அமுதாம் பன்னகபரணன் பனிமலர் திருவடி இணைமேல் ஆலயம் பாகின் அணைய சொல் கருவூர் அமுதுருள் தீந்தமிழ் மாலை சீலமா பாடும் அடியவரெல்லாம் சிவபதம் குருகி நின்றாரே. This is the finale verse from this Thirupathikam, and it tells us, by reading the entire Thirupathikam, what is that we are going to achieve. What is going to be given to us is beautifully given in this 10th verse. In this they say Karuvoor Thevar has sung these 10 verses, and anyone who is reading or singing these padikams will surely get on to Lord Shiva's lotus feet. And who is Lord Shiva? That is beautifully expressed in the first 2 lines. The first 2 lines says that Lord Shiva is in the place called as Thirumugathalai, and his name is Pannagabaranar. He is there to elevate the souls. How does he elevate the souls? By continuously, we call it as Urikalam, which is basically taken as complete destruction of this entire world, universe. Lord Shiva is the one who is the starting of the entire Big Bang, entire concept of, when we talk about creation, he is the starting of the creation, and he is the one who is the last to destroy everything. And Lord Shiva is omnipotent and omnipresent. He is there forever. He doesn't have a creation, he doesn't have a date of birth, he doesn't have a date of death also. He is going to be there forever. And he is the one who is going to start everything, and he is the one who is going to complete the entire cycle. This is what beautifully is expressed in this 10th verse. 10th verse talks about what is the benefit when we read this Padikam, Mugathalai Padikam, and it is written by Karuvoor, and the deity's name here is called as Pannagabaranar. Once we sing this Thirupathikam, we will surely get on to Lord Shiva's lotus feet. That is what is expressed here as the finale verse. I'll come back again with the next Padikam altogether very soon. Until then, Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam.